I will keep supporting Dogecoin. Are you for real? And without further ado, I'm of course the most open-minded investor / NFT artist on YouTube.
The diverse appetite for risky asset classes ranging between shopping centers and shitcoins, but not government bonds, creating content-led, family-friendly, cookie-accepting, cat-free, technical and specialized tutorials and guidelines to harness the generational wealth transfer found in crypto trends. And I'm as a believer of Jesus Christ and a fan of dairy and an extremely well-educated and multilingual Korean, but with hair naturally curlier than the average Asian male and highly coveted by many moms with daughters, also known as Humble Kim.
And today, we're looking at this crazy ass tweet from Elon Musk. I told you that there will be a day that comes in when Elon Musk was gonna say something about dog related coins. But look, Dogecoin has of course always been really well supported. Floki, I can't really say has done really well out of that, but there it is. So we've got Dogecoin that's been shouted out. Of course, we wanted it to have been shouted a bit earlier, not, when Bitcoin has dipped like bloody 75%. But more on this video, I want you to stay tuned till the end of the video so that you can understand how the market is feeling, how you ought to take action around what I think is a good opportunity. So let's keep looking into it. So Elon Musk is saying that I am buying, but this week it has fallen below $20,000 per Bitcoin. I think it's hit $19,000 and crossed below that as well, which is quite crazy. But billionaire Elon Musk of Tesla, if you've never heard of that company, who was, by the way, was hit by a $258 billion lawsuit over his support of Dogecoin. No, that's what that's all about. More importantly, has said that he's still buying this joke of a coin, which is a Bitcoin rival, and it's going to be continually supported. Wow. How interesting. I remember last year, everyone was like saying, yo, we got to look at the utility of coins and stuff like that. But Dogecoin is in the top 10 cryptocurrencies. So what utility? I mean, what utility is there really even for Bitcoin? I mean, the blockchain technology does seem like it's going to have lots of applications, but it's just like the dot-com bubble. We know exactly what's going to happen, but the potential is definitely capitalizable, and that's why we are all here. Where do you even use Bitcoin? I don't know. USDT, I do use it from time to time, but overall, I think it's silly to look at utility for cryptocurrencies just as yet. Not to mention, though, that it doesn't play a role into the marketing and, of course, the virality of a coin. So it needs to be looked into, but you shouldn't have all your weight in just the utility of a cryptocurrency as well. We need to go after that network effect. So looking at Bitcoin right now, it is a very, very interesting opportunity right now. I have said many, many times that any time Bitcoin has come in between that blue line and the red line has been great opportunities for you to have been able to purchase cryptocurrency. Now, if we chuck that on a weekly chart, now these lines are obviously remaining consistent throughout all that. I'm looking at the logarithmic chart at the moment. These all have been really, really good opportunities to have been buying into cryptocurrency. Now, there's another theory that I like to work with is that how much does Bitcoin correct over time from its the high to the lows? We're about 85% from the bull market every single time, 85%, and we are now sitting at 75% with Bitcoin hitting around about that $19,000 mark. So is it a good time to buy? I certainly think so. It's much better than where to buy in a bull cycle, which is when you probably heard about cryptocurrencies. So rather than FOMOing in and aping in like everybody else, I'd much rather you get into the zones when it's a lot more, I guess, undervalued is a right question to put it. And of course, part of the reason why Bitcoin has crashed so much is also because the equities have crashed a lot. I know a lot of you guys like to turn off at this moment, but it is important because when the Feds have a meeting and when they raise the interest rate by 0.75%, that's going to have massive ramifications for not only equities, but also real estate. And of course, you got to look at crypto as a risk-on asset, much like equities are. So it will only react to it more in a more volatile fashion. I do expect further volatilities and even further rate hikes coming in throughout the midterm of this year. So that being said, I think equities will struggle and probably have further room to go down. And not to mention, why only 75%? 84% does mean that we have more room to go. And yes, whilst it did like these zones as sort of the lows and it wanted to go up from there, it does crack well below that zone as well, much like where we are right now. And setting the 85% level from the nearest all-time high being at $65,000, we are expecting Bitcoin to go to the low 10,000s. There, I have said it, guys. So 13, 12,000 Bitcoin is definitely not out of the question. And so this is yet another chart basically that uses a rainbow. There isn't particularly much science to it per se, but this is a logarithmic graph, it seems, and around halvings, there is some reference point. Now, Bitcoin right now is predominantly deriving its value not out of any utility per se, but it derives most of its value out of the cost of its production. And that's where the S2F model comes in. And that's where Plan B last year has been very consistent with their predictions, but we are deviating quite a lot from it. But with Bitcoin being valued against the cost of its production, predominantly S2F model, the stock to flow model, which basically dictates that the cost of production is what determines the price of Bitcoin, I think is a reasonably reliable source. And yes, we have been deviating from that line based around halvings and just the line of the stock to flow model. But the thing is that we have been deviating from that in the past as well, but it does follow that trend reasonably well. So I don't think it's out of the question that S2F model can be relied upon to some degree. I mean, the whole internet was going upside down at how consistent the production Plan B 1 trillion USD Twitter account was so on point last year as well. And of course, when it starts to get wrong, everyone's like, oh, that's so bad. But you know what, this kind of deviation, I wouldn't even call it a deviation. It's just part of volatility and a correction that's needed for a technology that we don't yet fully appreciate. Now, before we jump into the next bit, I'm about to blow your freaking mind, right? Is the 51 to 49% ratio, 600 days of bull market left. This post came out in February 22 of 2020. Now, this is really, really interesting. They're saying that around the halving, right, 51% and 49% on either side is basically where you're going to experience the beginning to the end of the bull cycle, which is really, really exciting. So 51% and 49%, and that basically bottomed and topped in 2018. So it worked in 2013, and it again worked in 2021, because if we actually play these bars out, look at that, guys. This is kind of scary. Really scary. See, it actually predicted the top to the T to the 4th of October 2021, which is quite scary. Now, it's really interesting when they said, you know, 600 days of bull market left in February 2022, 600 days from February 22, 2020 was Thursday, 14th of October 2021, which is scarily accurate as well, guys. So that would then put the bottom of the market with the next halving potentially around about that September to about November this year as well. So there is further room for further drops is what I am sensing. Of course, it is not financial advice. You do whatever the heck you like with research that you do, and you know, and research whatever the heck you like. I'm repeating that way too many times. And so with that being said, guys, I think there is definitely a lot more excitement in cryptocurrency and the money that could be made in cryptocurrency than it was last year when, you know, everything was, you know, mooning and everyone was saying to the moon we go, baby. But those are very FOMO people. So you need to be I'd say now is a much better time to actually get into cryptocurrency, or at least start doing your research rather than waiting for the virality to come back, guys. And that being said, if you want to start trading your cryptocurrencies or buying into some cryptocurrencies now or even later, some of the best exchanges are in the link in the description below. Check out Bitget. You can trade those cryptocurrencies from anywhere around the world, futures and also on spot. And also copy trading has been very, very exciting as well. Some people have lost money, but there's a lot of people that are doing really well as well. It really is important that you understand how it all works before you jump into it. Of course, this channel fills you in a lot of that information where people have made a lot of positive gains. Now, those aren't typical gains, so make sure you're only risking amounts of money that you can afford to lose. And of course, there's wonderful exchanges like favoured and MEXC where you can trade a lot more different types of cryptocurrencies as well. And depending on where you live, some of these exchanges might be more appropriate for you guys. Crypto is a crazy world, all right? Just be patient, don't FOMO in. There's plenty of time, you're never too late. The fact is you're here. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Like, share, and subscribe. Much love to you all. Peace out.